Hello everybody and welcome. Thanks for tuning in. This is kind of an unusual experience that we're having, and this is really, I think, the best that we can do given our current situation. So thank you for your time and flexibility. Again, in a perfect world, we would be back in room 159, but here we are. So a couple quick updates. This video is for Project Advance students only. If you're not a Project Advance student, please make sure that you tune into a different video that relates to your specific class. You know which video it is because when you look down in the title of the video, the very first word is going to feature the course that you're in. So English 9 will say English 9, Honors 11 will say Honors 11. Okay, let's move on. How things are going to work as we move forward is we're going to provide one of these videos, we're going to call them weekly updates, at the beginning of every week. This update is going to feature any new announcement or a response to a commonly asked question, and then we're going to get into the calendar. Once we get into the calendar, we'll talk about some specifics, things we need to know to complete the coursework, and then we'll wrap up. Of course, if you have any additional questions or anything like that, just post them to the group chat so that everyone can see, and we can make sure that we iron out any of the questions or concerns that way. A couple quick things before we get started too, just as far as policy goes. We know moving forward that none of the work we're going to be completing during this time off will be 4 points. Now, this is for a variety of reasons that I've already explained in a Google Doc that I sent to the group chat. So if you're curious to know more about grading or due dates or anything like that, please check those docs because all of those details are listed there. We also want to keep in mind that all of the assignments are going to be due to Turnitin.com and also due to the shared Google Doc. So that's how we're going to move forward. Of course, if you have any questions, just let me know. I just want to reiterate that this is not an ideal form of conducting class, but I think it's the best we can do given our current limitations. So again, I thank you for your flexibility and your understanding during this time. So let's get into this week's calendar. Okay, for Project Advance, for Monday, I realize that this is now Tuesday and you didn't get this yesterday, but again, I appreciate your flexibility. For Monday's class, we want to complete the annotated bibliography entry for Anderson and Collins. We're going to turn that into Turnitin.com. What I want you to also do is check out this SNL sketch for a sketch called, or check out this SNL sketch for Black Jeopardy. This is written by the comedian and comic writer Michael Che. He's on SNL Weekend Update. You may see him there. He has a Netflix special too. This was a kind of viral video. It really spoke to this idea of intersectionality, but in a way that is kind of funny. So check that out. And then I want you to compare what we see in this sketch to Anderson and Collins' thinking. You're going to post your thinking to the Google Doc. Now, in addition to this, I want you to check out the Unit 3 essay. This is the last essay for Project Advance, and it is all about intersectionality. So do try to find a central text that you can write on, and if you need a copy of a film or anything, reach out and I will share it with you through a shared drive folder. Now for Wednesday's class, you're going to be watching an episode of I Love Lucy called Men Are Messy. You don't need to know anything going into it, you can just check the show out. When you're done, you're going to read an excerpt from Lori Landay's piece, Millions Love Lucy. And she takes a critical kind of look at this show and maybe questions Lucy's role as this iconic kind of proto-feminist, and I'll use air quotes there, comic. So anyway, when you're done reading her piece, you're going to define what she calls a trickster and what she calls a dupe, D-U-P-E. And you're going to identify a pop cultural character who seems to fit those descriptions today. You're going to post your thinking to the Google Doc. Now, in addition to that, you're going to continue exploring your unit essay topics, and you should have your topic selected by Friday. If you want to, you can take the weekend to revisit your text, like watch your movie again, take some notes. And that's what this week looks like. Now, you'll also notice that on the right-hand side, we have some what we're calling extra credit work. Now, I want to reiterate, this is not actually extra credit because you're not earning any points, but you can think of it as like mental extra credit because these ideas I think are really fascinating and we would typically cover them thoroughly in class if we had the time. So that's why we include them here. What you want to do is read an excerpt from a writer named Fisk, his piece, Offensive Bodies and Carnival Pleasures, page 69 and 70 and 75 through 90. You can also check out a PowerPoint presentation that goes along with Fisk's reading, and it includes some key passages and also some important definitions of some of what he's talking about. There are also some embedded videos from famous moments in WWF wrestling. These moments seem really silly and campy on the surface. I mean, they are, but they also serve to maybe provide a useful example of what Fisk is talking about when he uses the term carnivalesque, and that's the focus here. When you're finished, you want to define what he means by carnivalesque, and then you want to identify an event or a space that maybe fits that description, like an event or a space from our world today. And that's it. That's what this week looks like. When we think about next week and the week after that, you're going to get a video like this at the start of the week, probably Monday morning or maybe even late Sunday night, and you have the week to complete all of this work. All of the work you're going to complete and turn into turnitin.com. Unless unless you're being asked to turn it into the Google Doc, and then that's it. So that's how we're going to move forward. Again, please make sure that you're asking questions. You can reach out to me via email. You can post a question to the group chat, and other people can respond, and then we'll just keep the discussion going in that space. If you need anything at all, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. So I appreciate that we're still able to communicate this way, and that we can still cover this really exciting content. So I thank you for your time, thank you for your attention. These are really unusual times, so be good to yourself and be good to each other, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.